Here are 5 infamous roads you can actually drive today, if you've got the skills, the gear, and the nerves. Each one mixes natural hazards with human engineering to create routes that are as mesmerizing as they are unforgiving. Before you go, remember, preparation turns a dangerous road into a calculated risk rather than a reckless gamble. Number 5. Skippers Canyon Road, New Zealand. Skippers. Canyon Road is a 1-lane ribbon carved into schist cliffs high above the Shotover River, and it wastes no time reminding you who's in charge. The surface switches between hard-packed dirt and gravel, which means you're constantly negotiating traction while judging blind corners hemmed in by rock on one side and thin air on the other. Passing is a choreography of patience. When you meet oncoming traffic, you'll creep into a turnout and communicate with hand signals, headlight flashes, and common sense. There are few guardrails, so your margin for error is measured in inches, not feet, and rain can turn those inches slick. Even on clear days, dust clouds can veil the next hairpin, so horns and low speeds become part of your toolbox. The scenery is outrageous. Ice-blue river far below, raw canyon walls around you. But don't let the view steal your attention from the wheel. Locals often recommend high-clearance vehicles and daylight runs, and many visitors sensibly opt for guided 4x4 tours that know the etiquette and the edges. Historically tied to Otago's gold rush, the road was blasted and bench-cut by miners whose priority was access, not automotive comfort. That heritage shows up in tight rock corridors where mirrors threaten to kiss the wall, and in ledge sections where a misjudged turn could bite a tire sidewall. Weather swings fast in the southern Alps, so you might start in bright sun and finish under a curtain of drizzle that lubricates gravel into marbles. In winter, frost and occasional ice patches demand featherweight inputs. In summer, washboarding can rattle both suspension and nerves. Cell service can be iffy, recovery options are limited, and roadside pull-offs are small, so plan your stops and photographs in advance. If you're in a rental, read the fine print. Some companies refuse coverage for this road because a minor mistake can become a major rescue. Treat skippers as equal parts drive and expedition, slow, deliberate, alert, and humble. Number 4. Guoliang Tunnel Road, China. Guoliang is less a road than a hand-hewn statement of stubbornness, its rough tunnel windows opening onto sheer voids and terraced mountains. Built by villagers with basic tools, its cross-section is tight, the lighting uneven, and the sightlines constantly interrupted by rock pillars between openings. Wet conditions add drama. Water trickles across the stone, turning patches slick and reflecting headlights into distracting glare. Echoes inside can mask approaching vehicles, so drivers often announce themselves with deliberate horn taps before bends. Tourist buses and vans share the space, and when two vehicles meet, a courteous dance of backing and angling begins. Your speed will be walking pace slow, and that's a feature, not a bug. Slow gives you time to read the wall texture and track tire placement. The exterior ledges beyond the tunnel are no kinder, flirting with cliff edges that punish impatience. Outside the rock galleries, the approach roads twist across steep slopes where rockfall, loose gravel, and narrow shoulders dare you to get complacent. Tires with healthy tread and brakes without fade are non-negotiable. And a compact vehicle is more practical than a large SUV when tolerances are measured in fingers. Daytime runs are best because the rock absorbs light and swallows shadows, and nights can produce ground fog that condenses on the walls. Traffic density ebbs and flows with tour schedules, so keeping space ahead of you pays dividends when you need to stop in a hurry. Expect pedestrians and photographers stepping into the lane to frame a perfect shot through a cliff window, and expect to be courteous when they do. Patience is your safety system here. You'll progress in short bursts between pullouts, always prepared to reverse. If the weather turns or your nerves fray, turn around early. Guoliang rewards prudence as much as bravery. Number 3. Dalton Highway, USA. The Dalton is a working industrial artery to the Arctic, which means your first safety rule is simple. You are a guest on a trucker's road. Its surface flips between gravel, chip seal, and broken pavement, with fresh grading leaving windrows that can grab a tire and spit you sideways if you straddle them. Fast-moving haul trucks trail curtains of dust that can erase the horizon, so you maintain long gaps and slow down before the cloud, not inside it. Winds can shove you around on exposed tundra, and when you reach mountain passes like Atigun, you layer in steep grades, sudden crosswinds, and weather that can change in minutes. In summer, rain turns calcium chloride sections into grease. In winter, the word traction becomes negotiable. Services are scarce. Fuel, food, tires, and repairs cluster at a few waypoints. So you plan range with redundancy, carry a full-size spare or two, and protect your lights and windshield from gravel throw. Wildlife crossings are common, and an encounter with a moose is both magical and a potential totaled vehicle. Speed discipline is your friend. Because remoteness is the Dalton's defining feature, communications and self-sufficiency are part of the pre-trip checklist. CB radios help coordinate with truckers, who appreciate predictable behavior and clear signals when you're pulling over to let them by. Tire pressures matter more than usual because long stretches of corrugations can overheat sidewalls and shake hardware loose. A torque wrench check at stops is not overkill. Visibility varies wildly. Sun low on the horizon can blind. Rain can coat your windshield in a paste of mud and brine, and abrupt dips hide potholes with axle-bending ambition. Camping and breakdowns become logistical problems, not inconveniences, if you misjudge your supplies, so overpack water, food, and warm layers even in July. If you're new to the Dalton, aim for conservative daily mileage goals. This is not the road to make up time. Respect the road's purpose and the scale of the landscape, and it will reward you with singular beauty rather than painful lessons. Number 2. Killar Kishtwar Cliffhanger, India. This notorious shelf road is basically a chiseled ledge stapled to a vertical mountainside above the Chenab River, with the void always sitting at your shoulder like a quiet warning. The track is rocky and narrow, peppered with sections where the outside edge has crumbled into a ragged bite that tempts a wheel to wander. Monsoon rains can loosen slopes and send stones onto the path, turning corners into surprise chicanes and transforming the surface into a wet, slippery puzzle. Passing is a negotiation of inches. One vehicle hugs the cliff, the other inches toward the sky and the drop, and both drivers communicate through hand waves and engine notes more than words. Blind corners are many, and mirrors become your scouts. Short horn taps before each bend are a ritual of courtesy and survival. You'll keep speeds in the single digits, feather the throttle to avoid spinning on embedded rock, and avoid braking mid-corner where gravel behaves like ball bearings. The scenery is cathedral-level grand, but photographs should be taken from safe pullouts, not from the driver's seat. Preparation amplifies your margin for error on Killar Kishtwar. A short wheelbase 4x4 with low range and decent articulation makes rough steps and uneven ledges far less dramatic. Fresh tires with reinforced sidewalls resist the sharp stone edges that prowl along the inner wall, and a compact air compressor helps you adjust pressures for grip. Locals know the daily rhythm. Early morning offers calmer traffic and firmer surfaces before heat or storms stir things up. So ask and listen. In the rainy season, sections can be temporarily closed or reshaped overnight. Flexibility beats stubbornness when conditions don't cooperate. Drivers new to the road benefit from a spotter outside the vehicle for the trickiest squeezes, especially where you must fold mirrors and thread between rock teeth. Keep your load tight, your gear accessible, and your ego checked at the last big town before the climb. On this ledge, humility is a safety system. Number 1. North Yungas, Death Road, Bolivia. North Yungas earned its legend the hard way, a cliff-edge lane draped in cloud forest, with waterfalls splashing across the track and jungle mist turning dirt to clay. The road is narrow and the drops are enormous, which is why a unique local rule, driving on the left, is still observed by many along the traditional sections. It lets the downhill driver see the wheel's proximity to the edge. Fog, called neblina, can slide in without warning, turning distances abstract and making every meeting with oncoming traffic a slow-motion negotiation. Even where a modern bypass has siphoned off much of the heavy traffic, local vehicles, farm trucks, and tour convoys still use the old route, and complacency is the most dangerous passenger you can carry. Waterfalls cut ruts and leave slick algae on stones, so your tire placement becomes a chess game rather than checkers. Braking needs a delicate foot, Lock a wheel on wet gravel and you'll slide toward the void you've been respectfully ignoring. Every turnout is precious, every glance in the mirror deliberate, and every horn tap a polite announcement that you exist. Success on Death Road is built before you see the first drop. Choose a reliable vehicle with fresh brakes and good engine cooling because long descents punish both systems. Start early to secure the best visibility, the calmest traffic, and the widest time cushion for surprises. Keep speeds low enough that you can stop within your visible distance, an old rally rule that feels tailor-made for this jungle balcony. When you encounter bikes, this road is famous for downhill cycling tours. Yield generously, announce passes, and never spray them with gravel or water. Weather whiplash is normal. You can leave La Paz in dry, thin air and descend into humid cloud forest that fogs glass and lungs, so pack layers and drink more water than you think you need. Carry recovery basics, a first aid kit, and the attitude that turning around is not failure, but wisdom. Treated with respect, North Yungas becomes less a flirtation with danger and more a masterclass in disciplined, situationally aware driving. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Until next time.